A sharp escalation in Middle East tensions can ripple through the global economy almost instantly. When conflicts flare in this vital region, the first indicator is often the price of oil. That single metric can trigger a cascade of consequences. Higher oil prices raise fuel costs at the pump. They add pressure to inflation and complicate policy decisions. Financial markets react within minutes, repricing risk worldwide. Here is how the Iran conflict and the Strait of Hormuz move oil prices and the world economy. The current crisis did not emerge from a vacuum. It reflects years of internal strain and external confrontation. It took a dramatic turn on February 28, 2026. The United States initiated joint military strikes against targets inside Iran. Israel conducted coordinated strikes as part of the same operation. Designated Operation Epic Fury by the U.S. and Operation Roaring Lion by Israel, it marked overt escalation. Reports included the reported killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, during the strikes. The news signaled a direct blow to Iran's leadership and heightened uncertainty. This unfolded against a backdrop of nationwide anti-regime protests that began in late December 2025. Driven by a severe economic crisis and rapidly rising prices, they became the largest challenge to the government since the 1979 revolution. Internal instability raised the risk of miscalculation. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps asserted control over key maritime arteries. VHF warnings stated that no ship is allowed to pass the Strait of Hormuz. Though not officially closed, intimidation and acute risk created a de facto blockade. The Strait of Hormuz is the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. It sits beside major exporters: Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Iran. Geographically, it lies between Oman's northern coast and Iran's southern shore. At its narrowest, it is about 33 kilometers, roughly 21 miles, wide. Inbound and outbound lanes are each just about 3 kilometers wide. Through this slender channel, a staggering volume of energy moves daily. Approximately 21 million barrels per day, about 20% of global seaborne oil, transit here. That flow represents roughly $500 billion in annual energy trade. It's not just crude. Jet fuel, LPG, and LNG also rely on this route, especially Qatar's LNG. Its constrained geography makes it one of the world's most important energy choke points. As one expert warns, closing Hormuz could disrupt a fifth of globally traded oil overnight. Prices can gap violently upward on fear alone. Security here is a matter of global economic stability. This narrow strait functions like a jugular vein for industrial economies. When violence erupts near Hormuz, oil markets react swiftly and severely. That reaction shows up as a risk premium. It is the extra price buyers pay to offset uncertainty about supply. It reflects fear, supply shortages, longer and costlier routes, and outright attacks. Brent crude jumped about 9% to close near $79.45 per barrel. U.S. crude rose roughly 8.4%. At the open, Brent briefly touched $82.37, the highest since June 2025. These moves show how quickly risk is priced in. Analysts described a withdrawal from the corridor as operators stepped back. War risk insurance premiums jumped to multi-year highs and some coverage was withdrawn. Without insurance, commercial vessels cannot sail. Estimated tanker traffic fell by about 70%. Over 150 ships anchored, trapping millions of barrels. Direct threats and attacks turned a legal waterway into a de facto closure. The most direct impact is felt at the pump. A $1 move in crude adds about 2.5 cents to retail gasoline. A sudden $10 jump points to higher fuel costs ahead. That strains household budgets. Transportation-dependent businesses face rising operating costs. Energy costs feed through to broader inflation. Bank leaders warned prolonged high oil could create inflationary headwinds. Central banks may keep interest rates higher for longer. but tighter policy risks slower growth. Stock markets dropped on the news. In Europe, major indices fell between 1.7 and 2.5%. Asian markets declined about 1.2 to 1.3%. Investors fear pressure on profits and consumer spending. Airlines are hit particularly hard by fuel costs. Manufacturing is also vulnerable. Energy stocks may gain. Defense shares can benefit amid higher geopolitical risk. Overall volatility underscores uncertainty. Shipping disruption created logistical bottlenecks for trade. Major shipping lines suspended crossings through Hormuz. Many vessels rerouted around Africa, adding weeks and fuel costs. Pipelines can bypass only about 2.6 million barrels per day, far short of normal flows. That is a fraction of the roughly 21 million barrels that usually transit the strait. This is not a regional story. It affects households, businesses, and governments worldwide. Stay informed. Stay ahead. This is UpToDate World Insights.